What's up, everybody? This is John Dean, Eric Fish JC over on YouTube. Thought I'd make a quick video kind of looking at some of the equipment that I use in my studio. This is kind of, I'm looking at all these kind of like mini reviews. I might end up doing full reviews of some of these, actually quite a few of these pieces of gear. But I thought I'd go through and kind of show you how they all integrate within, between the computer, the keyboard, the speakers, the monitor, the whole deal. And I figured that I'd start first with the computer. This is a Gateway FX510S. It is actually a Hackintosh, believe it or not. So I'm going to turn it on here. I just figured out there were so many problems with it, it was ridiculous. It took me it was a very frustrating weekend trying to get this thing to work. But it ended up working great. And okay, let's see. This AOC monitor that I'm using is, I believe, 24. No, it's either 21 or 24 inches. I can't remember which. I think it's 24. But I got this for like $100. I got lucky. It was a model that was going out. It was going out of production. So I managed to get it for a pretty cheap rate. So there it goes, starting up into OS X. Now, as long as I'm talking about the Hackintosh and that's starting up, I can mention one of the workarounds. Often with Hackintoshes, with music, a problem is the sound cards. There aren't that many sound cards supported. For instance, I have an Audigy Sound Blaster, something that came with the computer, and it was not supported. The drivers, the kexts, as they were called, were not supported by the Hackintosh, by OS X. So I ended up using this, which is an MBox 2 Mini. I just got the Digidesign core audio drivers, and I can use that as my sound card. And it has really great high quality audio. I can use my headphones, these Sennheiser HD280 Pros, and I also have a main output to this. It's called the iSymphony. It's kind of like an iHome that's as these speakers that I have hooked up to these computer speakers, which I kind of chunked up and made them unpowered speakers. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and log in, John Dean, and my password. No, I'm not going to show you my password. And as you can see, it says John Dean's Mac Pro. This thing, according to Apple, I have a Mac Pro here, which isn't bad. It's got a dual-core processor, which, I mean, it's 1.86 gigahertz. It's pretty old, and I got 3 gigs of RAM in it, so it works pretty well. But I'm real happy with it so far. Besides the little snafu that's been going on for a while, it's been working like a charm. Basically, I just had to go in through disk utility after booting from the OS X install disk and go ahead and make some repairs to the disk that way. But anyway, moving on. I might as well show you. Well, you can't really appreciate it because of the crappy. Well, it's not really crappy, but I'm using a flip video camera to record all this stuff and kind of show you. Let's see. Let's play some Don Ross. This is a good one. It's got a really a very even sound, these speakers do, but it's very natural, uncolored, and I like it. It's perfect for mixing. It's very useful in that sense. Okay, so I'll leave that kind of chilling in the background. Alright, so moving on, we have the MIDI controller. This is an M-Audio Keystation 88ES. As you can kind of get an idea for the size, it's a full 88 key, but it's very low profile. It's only about a foot. I think it's about a foot wide. The desk I'm designing, you can check out that video when I upload it. I'm designing a desk. Makes full use of this thing's small size. It's very thin as well. It's only about, I think, 4 inches thick at its thickest point. And it's semi-weighted keys. They're not the totally weighted keys, but some people absolutely freak out about having the non-weighted keys, and I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I'm a piano player, but I don't. This thing was so inexpensive. I mean, I got this for like $150. It was a floor model at Guitar Center, and I was very lucky to get that. That was pretty cool. Got it for like 150 bucks. And it's basically new. I know a guy that works there, and they just put it on the floor. I said, oh, that's a floor model. I'll buy the floor model. And they're like, all right. So anyway, moving on. This is the 13-inch MacBook Pro that I use. Oh, look, it's my website. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, well, yeah, you should definitely check that out. But anyway, I use that for anything mobile that I have to do as well. You know, anything that I got to do on the run or whatever, I usually will use this. It's got logic and everything, and I transfer files between these two machines pretty quickly and easily. There's a FireWire cable that I can file share via FireWire, and everything's just fast tech. So, moving on. We have the other MIDI controller, which I have yet to hook this in here because I'm going to build my own Hackintosh, which is also going to be another video of building the Hackintosh, the real one. 6 processors, 24 gigs of RAM, 10 ter. It's going to be so nice. But right now I don't have it plugged in, but usually I'll use this as my MIDI mixing console. It's an HD16 CD made by Zoom. It was a solid hard disk recording studio internally when I first got it. It's got 8 mic preamps here, which is, I mean, I never really use all of them, but these first 3 are starting to die on me, which is why I've kind of stopped using it as a really recording studio and more as a control surface. But it works well as a control surface. I just put my virtual mixer up there on that monitor, which I also don't have plugged in yet, and then I have like my plug-in screen over here, and I just control it over here when I'm mixing because I have my speakers there as well. Okay, what else do we have? Got an old MBox there, and another computer that I'm going to eventually make into a Logic node. Yeah, this one is eventually going to be converted into a Logic node as well as that one. So that will all end up happening. I guess we can move on to the guitars. This will be towards the end of this video, but this first guitar is an Alvarez. I actually just put new strings on all these. It's an Alvarez RD20SC. It's acoustic electric. It's a bit thicker than most guitars in this price range. This thing was about 200, 250 bucks. And some of these cheaper guitars, they got a really flat sounding tone color. They really aren't very full, and that's really the reason I bought this guitar in particular. Is it has a really nice. It's got a very full tone color. New strings do help that, but I really like the way it sounds and feels. For the price, it was a nice deal. This here is a 1985 Fender Japanese Stratocaster. I don't know if this thing won't. Well, Stratocaster. It says made in Japan there, but I don't think you can see. But anyway, it was. There weren't that many of these made, but I got this from a friend of mine. It's on loan, and it sounds incredible. The one problem I've been having with it is the pickup selector switch. I'm gonna have to redo some soldering on there because it's not very clean. It crackles, and pickups go in and out. So, but it's a great sounding guitar. It's got that classic Fender sound to it, that the single coil kind of twang, if you will. Especially, I love the neck pickup on this thing. It just, oh, man, there's nothing like a Fender guitar. And here I have a Gibson SG Special. This is towards the bottom of Gibson's SG line, but I managed to get this before they jacked up the price on it, which is a couple years ago, and I've really loved it since. It's been a great guitar. The humbuckers sound great. Just put new strings on this one as well, and it sounds awesome. But it's got the Gibson Deluxe tuners rather than the Grovers, which, I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I don't really need Grover tuners, although they are very nice. But it's a good sounding guitar, solid guitar, and plus it's got Gibson on the headstock. You can't really go wrong. This is an Abilene acoustic guitar. I'm not really sure about this guitar. It's a solid sounding guitar, but it works much better for kind of the Texas style if I need kind of acoustic backing on any country music. I don't know. A friend of mine got it in a pawn shop, and yeah, I don't really know any background in the guitar. So anybody that knows anything about that, let me know, because that's basically all I know about it, is that it's an acoustic guitar. Basically it. This here is an Ibanez TR70, this bass guitar. They don't even make these anymore, I don't think, because they weren't very good basses. It's not a great bass, but it works well for in a studio situation if I just need to lay down the bass track. It works out very well. I actually tried to refinish it and then realized it was made of plywood and how kind of crappily that looked. But it's okay. I'm still working on making this thing beautiful, and eventually it will be very beautiful. I'm going to refinish it again at some point in the next probably couple of months. Then on the wall, I've got an authentic African kalimba, some maracas from Mexico, another African flute there, which is really kind of cool for some of the ethnic stuff. Yeah, it's not a bad sounding thing. I have it mounted to the wall there with a thumbtack. And then this is a very old mandolin that's run in my family. My family's Italian. It's been in my family for a couple of generations now. And I refinished it and put some new strings on it, and it's not a bad sounding instrument at all. But anyway, that is basically the whole studio. Right now. Eventually, when I move into my new space, it will probably look much cleaner and better than this. But oh, I forgot the microphone. This is an MXL 990 microphone. It's a large diaphragm condenser, and it was about $50. And I can't remember a better decision on getting a microphone right now. Probably in hindsight, maybe the AT2020, AT2021, or whatever it is. Mic pack may have been a better choice, but for what I paid for this, this is a great mic. It's very versatile. I use it to record everything from vocals to saxophone to acoustic guitar to piano, and it's performed real well. You need some time with it. You need to get some EQing. The right EQ makes all the difference with this microphone, as well as the right amount of compression. But this thing has performed. It's completely surpassed my expectations with how much I paid for it. But yeah, it's kind of my workhorse right now. I just have it plugged into the back of the MBox, and it works great with Logic. So that is my entire studio setup. If anybody has any questions at all, just let me know. I would be happy to talk to you about anything that I talked about. If anybody has anything, constructive criticism, any sort of criticism, I don't care. I welcome all. So next video will probably be about the studio desk that I am building. I'm going to probably be building that all day tomorrow, as well as next couple days. And I'm going to try and get the video on the LA scoring strings, cinematic strings comparison. I'm working on that. It's been a lot of work. Get that one up within the week as well. So thanks so much for watching, and check out my channel or my website, www.johndean.tk. I score films, I write songs, whatever you need. I will usually we'll make some time to do, especially in the summer, because I don't have a whole lot to do. So give me things to do. Alright, thanks guys. Check out my other videos, and I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.